Oh my god, that really hurt. Have you guys heard that scream before? You probably have, even if you don't even know it, because it's one of the most, if not the most, used sound effects in movies, television shows, and even games. The Wilhelm Scream is used in the new Rockstar game Red Dead Redemption. It's used in over 100 different movies and TV shows ever since it was first released, like 60 years ago or something like that, in Hollywood. We're going to do some research on this scream one more time. We're going to quickly tell you a bit of the history regarding it, but there's actually another contender for one of the world's most used screams in movies. It's the Wilhelm Scream versus another scream, which you have probably also heard in movies or TV shows. Or the Wilhelm Scream, by the way, is actually used in The Simpsons and other animated shows. If you're a fan of animated shows, yeah, Disney have used it many, many times. But yes, there is another scream that wants to have a loggerhead fight with the Wilhelm Scream. We're going to play that scream for you as well. I almost guarantee you've heard this one as well. Guys, we do daily videos on this channel, in this studio. Give us a like, subscribe, and ring the bell situation. We do have two different YouTube channels where we do almost weekly travel films on channel 1 and channel 2. You're watching this right now on channel 2. 2 has the 2 and 1 has the 1. It's that simple. So if you're a movie buff, you probably already know what I'm talking about regarding this scream. If you don't quite know what I'm talking about, let's just dig. Let's do a deep dive and deep dig all our way to China, through the loophole, find Alice in Wonderland, and we'll just go deep into this conversation. I was trying to reference myself out of that one. There we go. So the Wilhelm Scream. Now the Wilhelm Scream is a stock sound effect that has been used in a number of films and TV series, beginning in 1951 with the film Distant Drums. Now the scream is usually used when someone is shot, falls from a great height, or is thrown from an explosion. Those kind of situations, right? The sound is named after Private Wilhelm, a character in The Charge at Feather River, a 1953 Western in which the character gets shot in the thigh with an arrow. This was its first use following an inclusion in the Warner Brothers stock sound library, although The Charge at Feather River is believed to have been the third film to actually use this effect. Very interesting, all right? The scream is believed to be voiced by actor Sheb Wooley. This guy right here, Sheb Wooley, that's the face to this scream. That's the guy right there. That's who people in the know seem to think that that's the guy, even though it was never really confirmed, I don't think, back in the day. So a bit of history regarding it. The Wilhelm Scream originates from a series of sound effects recorded for the 1951 movie Distant Drums. Very interesting. So the other movie which we just talked about was not the first one, like we said. The Charge at Feather River was not the first. But the Wilhelm Scream originates from a series of sound effects recorded for the 1951 movie Distant Drums. In a scene from the film, soldiers are wading through a swamp in the Florida Everglades, and one of them is bitten and dragged under by an alligator. The screams for that scene and other scenes in the movie were recorded later in an actual single take. Very interesting. That's what movies do. Movies are shot on location or on a soundstage, and then of course, actor dialogue and sound effects are recorded later on and, mushed together, and yeah, that's how movies work. Really cool, right? So the recording was entitled "Man Getting Bit by an Alligator" as he screamed. The fifth take of the scream was used for the soldier in the alligator scene. The fifth take, which later became known as the iconic Wilhelm Scream, was probably voiced by actors Sheb Wooley. Of course, we've already read that bit before, but it says it again twice. The voice of the scream. I'm going to read that one. Uses. The Wilhelm Scream's major breakout in popular culture came from motion picture sound designer Ben Burtt. This dude right here, awesome, right? Who discovered the original recording which he found as a studio reel labeled "Man Being Eaten by an Alligator" and incorporated it into a scene in Star Wars. Now, in which Luke Skywalker shoots a stormtrooper off of a ledge, with the effect being used as the stormtrooper is falling. This sound effect, I probably should have told you this before, but this sound effect's been used in mostly all of the Star Wars films, except for some of the newer Disney ones, and it's been used in all the Indiana Jones movies. It's become a bit of a running gag throughout filmmakers of all caliber, whether you're Steven Spielberg or an absolute nobody trying to make a name for yourself. A lot of filmmakers have used this sound effect, as we said before, in over 100 films. We'll continue reading a little bit more about this. I think this is really interesting. Burt is credited with naming the Scream after Private Wilhelm. Over the next decade, Burt began incorporating the effect in other films on which he worked, including projects involving George Lucas or Steven Spielberg. Very interesting, right? Notably, the rest of the subsequent Star Wars films, as well as the Indiana Jones movies, have used it. The Wilhelm Scream often became a in-joke after it was used in films such as the Star Wars franchise and Indiana Jones films. They're saying that again twice. Why are they doing that? February 2018, it was announced Star Wars will no longer use the Wilhelm Scream at The Force Awakens, so at least Disney did do one of them. The Star Wars, The Force Awakens 2015, being the last film in the series to actually use the sound effect. At least Disney did use did carry on the tradition a little bit, at least with their first their first movie. Now, the effect is used in the animated Disney and Pixar films such as Toy Story, Cars, and Up, Monsters University, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Kung Fu Panda, Hercules, and Game of Thrones, just to name a few. Blockbuster films, television programs, cartoons, and video games have all made use of this Scream. Unbelievable. So this Scream is pretty damn famous. Now we're going to play the other Scream for you guys in a second. Like I said, there's a bit of a war between two different sound effects. Get ready for this one. So this, before we play the actual sound effect of the other one, this is a few uses of the actual Scream in movies. Let's just play it for you.
Wilhelm! Yeah, I'll just fill my pipe.
Get ready. So he gets an arrow in the leg, and that's Private Wilhelm, who got shot by the Indian. And that was one of the first uses. It actually wasn't the first use of the Scream, but it could have been the second or the third use of the Scream in movies. But that Scream was actually used. That the name of the actor, Private Wilhelm, was actually used to name that Scream later on in the years. So it's strange. Like, even though it wasn't the first, it was the third or something like that. It's still kind of classified as the first in a lot of people's eyes because that's where the name comes from. Very interesting when you think about it. So we'll change a little bit more. This movie actually has a few more. So this Scream was actually used 3 times in this one movie. So it's been used in many different situations. We'll go to Star Wars now. Very interesting, right? Team America. That was a good movie. You hear it? The old classic Star Wars films. Unbelievable, right? What the hell is this movie? Awesome. Blade Runner. So like we said, guys, it's been used in... hang on, this is the newer... Was it the newer? This is still one of the older Star Wars films. This sound effect has been used in over 100 films. Unbelievable. What else can we find that you guys may recognize? What's this one? Indiana Jones. Here's Indiana Jones. There he goes. What the hell was that? I've never seen that. I've never seen that Star Wars before. King Kong. Great movie. Toy Story. Look at that. Get ready. Unbelievable. Indiana Jones again. So if you have never heard this noise before, never consciously heard it, after this video, I think you're probably going to hear it all the time. So now that we've had a bit of a listen fest to that situation, there is another scream that I want you guys to hear right now. It's called the Howie Scream. This is an interesting thing. I did not actually know that this thing existed before doing research for this film. Now, I have heard this scream in movies before, but I didn't know it was a thing that people were actually doing as well as the Wilhelm Scream, but it is actually a thing. Let's do some reading and then I'll play the scream for you. This is where I'm going to play it right now in a second. So the Howie Scream. The Howie Scream, also known as the Howie Long Scream or Screams 3. Man, gut-wrenching scream and fall into distance. Wow, that's freaking awesome. Is a frequently used film, television, and video game stock sound effect for a scream. I'm going to play it for you in a second. You're going to kick yourself when you hear it. You've probably heard it before. Often compared to the Wilhelm Scream, its prominence in a number of movies has launched a few nicknames such as the Howie Long Scream, because it kind of is long, in reference to Howie Long. It's kind of a play on words. It's kind of a long scream, plus it's the actor Howie Long. I think he was a footballer. NFL. But yeah, Howie Long's character death scene in the 1996 film, Broken Arrow. I absolutely love the movie Broken Arrow. Such a great film. It appears to have originated from a fight scene in the 1980 film, The Ninth Configuration. Let's just play the sound for you right now. You guys ready? Yeah. Have you heard that one before? We'll do it again. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Awesome scream, right? Yeah, so there are these two main screams. We'll go back to it and play them both for you right now. The Wilhelm Scream, where are we? Hang on, here we go. And of course, the Howie Scream. And you know, these screams have been used in hundreds of movies, and they probably will be continued to be put into hundreds, if not thousands of more movies going well into the future. This is something cool that if you did not know, now you know, and if you did know before about it, hopefully you've learned something more about the actual scream. I actually do intend to do a few projects, filming a few projects that I will be releasing on my channel 1 sometime in the very the very close, not so distant future, I meant to say. And I think I will be incorporating that sound in those projects of mine because, hey, why not? I want to be professional too, you know? Yay, woohoo, the next Steven Spielberg. Here I am. Guys, we have 2 different YouTube channels, channel 1, channel 2. Of course, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Tall Boy Gareth. Look, my name is Gareth. I've been tall. I'll see you for tomorrow's video where we do daily videos, bro. See you later. Hang on. Bye. Yeah.